Hello and welcome to today's NinjaTrader Ecosystem webinar event with Mercedes of Mental Strategies for Traders. My name is Tiffany and I am a platform representative at NinjaTrader. I'd like to mention that it is important to understand that there are substantial risks in trading commodity futures and contracts in Forex. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you and will depend on your circumstances and financial resources. It is possible to lose all funds deposited with your broker and can even incur losses beyond these amounts. Please inquire at the link provided for more information or for the copy of the CFTC full risk disclosure. Also, please remember that these training webinars are not a solicitation nor recommendation, but simply educational in nature. This webinar is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is the technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Brokerage-related questions should be directed to NinjaTrader Brokerage directly at the information provided. The NinjaTrader Ecosystem website is home to hundreds of third-party apps and services, all centered around the NinjaTrader ecosystem. With new tools added nearly every day, NinjaTrader Ecosystem is home to hundreds of apps and services. You can quickly and easily find the tools or services you're looking for with a simple keyword search. You'll also find information about upcoming webinars in an on-demand video archive to view event recordings at the link provided. For up-to-date information, be sure to like or follow NinjaTrader Ecosystem on all social media. NinjaTrader is always free for advanced charting, strategy, backtesting, and trade simulation. To ensure you are on the latest version of NinjaTrader and pick up a free live data trial, please visit the following link. You can purchase or lease NinjaTrader at the following link. And if you are just getting started with NinjaTrader, we offer free live training on a daily basis. You can view a schedule of weekly webinars at the following link. We are very excited for this unique event in which Mercedes of Mental Strategies for Traders will discuss new perspectives and new tools to help you thrive in 2020 and beyond. Thanks again for your attendance today, and with further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome to the NinjaTrader webinar room Mercedes. Please take it away, Mercedes.
Let's start the presentation. I can't find the chat window at the moment.
Anyway.
Okay, we'll come to that towards the end of the presentation. So, the subject is our brain in 2020, and here is a brief notice about the risk disclosure, which is available on my website to read. Okay, for those of you who don't know me, I've trained at Commerzbank and realized very soon that a career in banking really wasn't for me, and I've spent most of my life coaching. I initially coached in Germany, working with military personnel in Germany, which was interesting, and really since about 2006, I have worked mainly with traders. So when we will be discussing what drives the epochal paradigm shift of 2020 and way beyond, this one is really big. We're going to look beyond brain coherence. You'll understand in a moment what I mean by that, and what is required by responding to a very new environment. We'll also look at the #1 challenge in your trading life, which will not be what you probably think. And then we are going to look at some key strategies to reduce fear and build trading confidence. And I'm gonna share with you a little exercise where you hopefully get a taste of what it is all about and get a real experience. And then we'll do Q&A if we do have time. Okay, the eternal dream. We all want better lives, want better trading, and peace and happiness, of course. The times, they are changing big time, because our entire living environment is undergoing a major evolutionary shift. This shift changes how you see the world. And really, if you understand the underlying principles, it cannot be any other way, because it is a fully interconnected process. There is nothing that operates in isolation. what you do and what you are thinking about in the next 12 months will impact your life for at least a decade and probably way beyond that. You know, as I said, this thing is big. I'm not making this up. I've got the science to prove all this. Now, 2020 in a nutshell. Astrologically speaking, we are in for more volatility and quick shifts. The Chinese year of the rat advises caution with financial matters once more. We had a similar but slightly different scenario last year. And we are, of course, from the Chinese perspective, we are at the beginning of a new 12-year astrological cycle, so which is also quite big in terms of the human lifespan. The apex of the 25,920-year cycle is upon us, and in fact we have just pushed beyond the apex. So we have got a convergence of a number of cycles here. This energetic shift is felt everywhere. It is hugely intense and can feel rather uncomfortable as well, you know, unless you are mentally prepared and equipped. The Earth's core is increasingly unstable, and this, of course, translates into our emotions and into everything, basically. Shifts of the Earth energy grids, ley lines, magnetics, and portals inside the Earth are shifting, and shifting in the atmosphere as well. And of course, they are the ever-increasing Schumann wave spikes. We'll talk about that in a moment. Increased climate instability, partially due to humans, but also partially due to the big cycle shift. It all put pressure on our brains. Here is an image, is actually from end of December of the Russian Space Observatory. And what you see here, you know, it's sort of like an hourly chart. There was a massive spike in December, and it was the highest Schumann wave spike we have seen since 2014, since the Schumann wave spikes gradually sort of climbed above the dominant 7.83 Hertz frequency. You'll understand in a moment a bit more about this. So the old questions are requiring new answers, and of course the eternal question is, well, you know, who are we? The human being, are we the human being that's driven by limitation, driven by survival fears, and the need to compete in a hostile world? Well, basically that is a false concept. The concept is based on a false understanding of how the universe actually works, and it stops you from embarking the new reality, embracing the new reality and the changes with a degree of inner confidence, instead of which, of course, you know, we are into fear, doing guilt and dread of the unknown, and all those things, which of course also hamper our trading. So imagine if you could bring a new understanding into your trading platform, onto your trading platform, and if you could trade from a sense of inner certainty, and this is going way beyond the intellectual understanding. I know you all know what I mean intellectually by all this, but taking the understanding to a deeper level, this is really what it's all about. So, okay, our evolution. Well, you know, is this our evolution here, you know, from the ape, you know, walking around eventually, going to work with your little briefcase in the one hand and the iPhone in the other? Well, I don't think so. Your evolution basically is a lie. And here are some new facts that have come to light in recent years. Well, the first one is obviously you did not evolve as the history books are still telling us, and as you've seen in the other photograph illustration. 200 years ago, humans showed up fully equipped. We did not evolve bit by bit. No, we turned up here on Earth fully equipped. Our brains were then already 5 times the size of a chimp. We have not changed physically at all since then, but consciously, yeah, our consciousness, of course, has undergone many, many different shifts and mutations. Humans are fully equipped to handle any situations. Get this, yeah, there is nothing to search for. It's already there. We have got the programs, but the programs need to be activated. Now, recently, in the last 3 months or so, I think, a carbon test discovered a forest that is over 3 million years old. Now, what is that telling us about the history and the age of our Earth? Well, I leave you to ponder on this one. Basically, the conclusion about all this is, of course, that we are not lacking in anything. We are designed with anything, and we could have wonderful lives if we chose and used our brains correctly. So basically, the old question is, same old shit, excuse my French, all over again, like, and that wheel going round and round and roundabouts, or are we gonna do what the markets have been doing of late, up, 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 up into the sky? Well, I think from a consciousness point of view, it's not rocket science to work out where we want to be. So basically, you were not designed to work hard, pay the bills, and die. That is a big delusion, illusion, and delusion. So let me ask you, do you still believe that hard work is what is needed in order to succeed? Do you believe it's all about competition, about survival, which ultimately means it's about judgment, critical analysis of everything and all the facts, like back testing, and well, we won't go into that one. Is it about using the linear mind predominantly to figure out how to work things? Is it about protecting yourself and your family from the next market turn down? And finally, is it about depending your point of view at all cost? Well, what if all these paradigms are basically completely wrong? If all the above, or previous should I be saying, is wrong, could we be doing the following instead? Could we perhaps become inspired by a new future and new possibilities, free from the past conditioning? Could we learn from everyone and every situation instead of criticizing everyone and every situation? Could we stop victimhood and blame and accept ourselves as the co-creators of our lives? Could we learn to use our brain in alignment with the high energies which are coming in, because this is basically what's happening on Earth? Could we learn to live in the vision of a new future of plenty where lack is absence? And could we live in alignment with what I like to call divine mind? Could we learn to receive answers instead of front-running the answers, meaning basically interfering all the time? Could we stop judging, comparing, blaming, over-analyzing everything just in a bid to feel safe? I think these are big questions, and everybody needs to ask themselves these questions and perhaps ponder them a little bit longer than the duration of this webinar. So, okay, the big challenge of this year and the years ahead of us, well into 24, it's not climate change, it's not the economy. The biggest paradigm shift, ultimately, which underlies all this is what I call the dawning of light. There is more light coming into the planet, and more light means a different set of information. So our solar system is speeding up, the energy is rising in frequency, and this affects absolutely everything in existence, from our brains right down to the rock in your garden. We as humans, just like everything else in the cosmos, will have to adjust to this in order to live well in this new environment. There really is no other choice. And we are at the apex of this shift. It is only just becoming apparent to the collective consciousness that means pretty much everybody on Earth, unless they are living under a rock, that something is up. So, put simply, the environment in which your body and brain is operating is changing dramatically. And in actual fact, it has already changed. The run up to the change has been really the last 25 years or so. So new thinking is mandatory. The reason is actually very, very plain simple. The environment simply doesn't support the old ways any longer. The magnetic field is thinning at dramatic speeds, and that is facilitating a demolition of old structures and old belief systems. Beliefs are basically electro and magnetic in structure. The frequencies on which your brain receives information have just changed. We are on a different frequency band. And that is why your environment also feels different. And the brain has got no reference point for it. So what is your mind doing? It is trying to tune into the old energies and the old frequencies, and they are no longer there. So normalcy bias, beware, because that normalcy bias is the default mechanism of the mind. The mind, basically the untrained mind, let me say that, the untrained mind is trapped in the past, and that is your problem. Your body, the feedback instrument of your thinking, is also trapped in the past. And your environment, as you are still experiencing it today when you switch on Bloomberg, CNBC, and read the media and God knows what else, reflects the collective thinking from the past, not from the future. So of course it becomes, pretty big stretch to say the energy has changed, when you see all this stuff from the past still being regurgitated wherever you look. The collective, of course, is afraid of the unknown future. It realizes something is up, but people are afraid, and they lack the tools to handle the uncertainty. It's not the kind of stuff you are taught at school. It's not what you are taught when you first learn to trade either. So my question is simply this. If you knew of a way that could improve your life and free you from the uncertainty and the fear, would you be willing to take that new way? And this is a question we will all have to answer before too long, everyone without exception. So now I want to talk very briefly about a very interesting experiment from the Max Planck Institute that was carried out in the 60s. And the scientist Weaver basically did this groundbreaking experiment, and he built a Faradian cave, and he put different frequencies in this cage. And what was discovered basically was that the human mind and body cannot function properly unless the frequency 7.8 Hertz free, which is the Schumann frequency, is dominant. Without it, in other words, life cannot exist in an organized manner. So as the frequencies in our environment are changing at dramatic speeds, our mental GPS is on constant row mode. It has basically lost its orientation. And this is where these increased fear cycles, frustration, anger, and inability to find a focus and clear vision are coming from. People just do not know what's hit them, and they don't know how to handle the situation when these magnetic shifts which come in wave are happening to us. So here's a lovely illustration, of the poor old mind, where to next. Yeah. Okay, so behind the brain, beyond the brain coherence or incoherence, actually, I forgot the word in here, there is, of course, love and above. Yes, indeed, there is something above love. So brain and heart power is basically the new frontier, and it's also the biggest discovery of the last 10 years, which is, if you like, probably going to be our salvation going forward. So when the heart and the brain are aligned, the magnetic power of the heart is 5,000 times stronger. Some scientists say even stronger than 5,000 times, and the brain's electric power increases by 100 times. So this is big. This is huge. We can create incredible power by just learning strategies to align the brain and the heart. As I said, this discovery in my book is a salvation at a time when the magnetic field of the Earth is thinning at unprecedented speeds, because what it means is this: we can create our own unique magnetic fields from which we build a new future. So This means we have the power, of course, to build new morphic fields from which we create our reality. Morphic fields are basically our reality underneath the surface of things. So the answer is to learn brain-heart alignment strategies to feel whole and complete again, and be able to live from your vision instead of living from the past. So this discovery basically means the following things for us. It means that we have to learn to think from the heart and obviously align the heart with the brain. And this simply will strengthen the signals which are going out and create our reality. Now, another interesting thing is when the heart and the brain are aligned, your brain automatically goes into coherence. And brain coherence equals, of course, improved trading, because all trading problems have at their root cause brain incoherence. So coherence means clearer focus, faster reaction speed, and of course less stress. And all this builds up, adds up to much increased resilience to outside circumstances, inner peace, and a joy in everything you do. So I could also say that the heart is the communication channel with the field around you, with what we also call your higher mind, or the intelligence that resides behind everything. Now let's move on to epigenetics. Epigenetics is a relatively new science. It's been around for about 30 years. And we know from epigenetics, when beliefs are aligned with the heart and the brain, change in genetic expression occurs. So that just shows how powerful we are to influence our reality and our lives. Now, your big challenge is letting go of beliefs that are outdated and disempowering, while simultaneously, steadfastly maintaining new supportive beliefs in a very volatile environment. That's the challenge. Meditation to change gene expression. Well, that is the big question. Well, we all know that meditation does quite a few wonderful things, and there are many different meditations around which do different things. Now, the science of epigenetics proves that you can change gene expression when certain conditions are met, basically. Now, there is transformational guided meditation, which could be the first step to changing your beliefs and remaining in a new energy of new thinking. The clue here is remaining in the energy once you finished meditation. And this is why we have to keep practicing, practicing, practicing until a new energetic state becomes a new form of being. That's what we are talking about. So because over time you simply become the new energy. And when you meditate correctly, the regular meditation changes the quality of protein production in your body. So, and that basically means your mind and body become healthier, and that eventually translates into your environment too. So, consistent transformational meditation over a period of 6 months, it's not a one-day wonder. Nothing that brings changes that last is a quick fix. So 6 months is the minimum, but it has the potential to change your entire life because it changes gene expression. If you can incorporate a 30-minute meditation practice in your daily trading plan, I can assure you, you will remain calm and focused, and that alone will help your trading. It's not everything, but it's a big part of it. So let's just talk a little bit about the course, in my trading psychology course, Improve Your Trading Mind in 21 days, because this course is basically focused around one thing. It's focused around the thing that ultimately will change your trading, and that's improving brain coherence. And then in addition to that, if you were to consider to join the Awaken the Inner Master Trading, which is a 6-monthly course which meets once per week. And there we basically, what we do, we practice the we practice the inner game. We practice staying in the energy and working on our mind, understanding how the universe works and applying that knowledge in our lives. And this is the missing piece. People don't understand it. And these two things alone will help you immensely in trading. There is, of course, also that other piece. If you have underlying trauma and things, you may have to go a bit deeper to get rid of mental chatter that interferes. And one of the tools I use for this these days with all my clients is non-invasive neurostimulation to facilitate change. And this is the most wonderful tool. The science is not new, but how we apply this technology to improve trading is absolutely groundbreaking. And I think, well, I know that I am not lying when I tell you I'm the only one out there who's doing it. And I am so excited about this new technology I was introduced to a few months ago, started using with clients. It's, by the way, scientifically tested. And I have tested it myself. My partner, who is a trader, has also tested. And, we are really very, very excited about this because it helps us make changes faster because it produces increased brain coherence. You can email me about this if you're interested about this. So now, non-invasive stimulation and meditation together slow down your mind. They improve the quality of protein production. You become less attached to outside circumstances. Very important when you need to stay in trades and you get out of trades too early, or you move your stops around, or or all the other dysfunctional behaviors we have when the mind gets into overdrive. You become less reactive. Now, I wonder how many of you would benefit from that. Probably 90% of all traders. You feel more energetic. That's a side effect from wasting less of your energy on your emotions. You focus with greater clarity and less effort. Your relationship with yourself, also a very, very vital component, and with others improves. And you become kinder to yourself. And, well, obviously, when your internal dialogue improves, your trading will improve. Okay, now before we go to the special offer, let's do a little meditation here. I want to give you a very brief intro into a very simple process that creates brain coherence. And in order to do this, I invite you to take off your shoes, please, and take off your watches. Taking off the shoes gives you an immediate grounding, and, well, watches can interfere with the energy system. As there are quite a few on this call, I would appreciate it if you did this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you through a very simple breathing exercise. And then I am going to take you through a mental visualization process, which is focused around a figure 8, which you are doing with your eyes. And you will see as I guide you through this, it's very easy, very straightforward. And this process aligns the brain very, very quickly. Now, don't get hung up on procedure. Focus on my words and focus on relaxing. Okay, let's begin. Make yourselves comfortable and bring your attention to the center of your body. The center of your body is the navel area, which we also call the hara point, the belly button, just about an inch above. Just gently bring your attention to that area. You may want to close your eyes to increase your focus and eliminate all outside influences around you. And now let's take a very gentle but deep breath into that hara point, into the navel area. Breathe in very deeply and hold that breath for a moment, a little bit longer if you can. and then exhale. And relax for a moment, and we'll repeat it again. Focus onto the hara point. Take a deep, slow breath into that hara point. Hold it a little bit longer still, and exhale. And relax for a moment. And let's do it once more. Bring your attention to the hara point. Take a deep, slow breath into the hara point and hold the energy for a moment and a moment longer, and exhale. And relax and bring just for a moment your attention to your spine. And we are now setting the intention to align the spine with the spine of the earth. Just feel that energy in your spine aligning. You may notice a little shift in your posture. And now bring your attention to that area between your eyes, the bridge of your nose, with your glasses sitting if you wear some, and imagine a horizontal figure eight, just like a pair of glasses. And now bring your attention to the left side of your eye and start making with your inner vision a figure eight, starting with the left eye on the top, rolling over underneath the eye, crossing over the bridge of your nose to the right side, moving up over your eye, down below the eye, crossing over the bridge of the nose and over to the left side, making that figure eight, crossing back over to the right side, back over the bridge of the nose, crossing over at the left side, over the bridge of the nose, to the right side. You will notice your eyes will follow the movement from left to right, back over to left, over to the right. Allow the eyes to gently make this movement. You will notice that you establish a rhythm all by its own accord. You will not have to do anything. Your eyes will automatically do this. And now bring your attention beyond your head. Make that figure eight really, really big. 2 feet to either side of your head. Just follow the movement of the figure eight with your eyes from left to right, from right back over to left. See that big figure eight and imagine the soothing color of a pale blue enveloping your entire head. And now, as we are bringing this very brief meditation to a close, I invite you to bring your attention to your feet. Feel the ground underneath your feet. Become aware of the energy and the shift, the subtle shift in the energy of your body. Integrate this shift and rub your hands together. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And I'd like to know what you have noticed. I know some of you are experienced meditators. So I know some of you are on my mailing list and are doing this with me on a regular basis. So, and for those of you, if you haven't felt anything, it doesn't matter. You know, it's practice, you know. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years. So obviously I feel something, be very sad if I didn't. Now, okay, we'll look at the comments in a moment. Let's just briefly talk about the special offer. So the special offer, as you may have guessed, is improve your trading mind in 21 days, the trading psychology course. And this course will give you a solid foundation of the principles I teach to all my coaching clients. So the first part is basically a discussion about universal law, where you learn how universal laws work and how they apply to trading. The section incorporates a very important questionnaire, which, really, it's vital that you take the time to fill that out, because it'll give you many, many clues about your weaknesses and your strengths. Part 2 consists of 18 MP3s, which are addressing all the most important common trading issues like fear, hesitation, over trading, over analyzing, self-worth issues, and lots more. Included is also a powerful meditation and visualization, which you are asked to use daily before you start trading. And part 3 is a 1-hour consultation with me, where we sort of go deeper into what you learned in the 21 days and answer your questions. Now, so that is the course, and with the course I am offering you a 1-month trial of the Awaken the Inner Master Trader, which is the weekly trading psychology membership, which is a live group coaching where we get together, and there is no set agenda. We will do some healing work where necessary. We talk about all your questions, your challenges, and it's quite in depth and at times very, very profound. This course obviously runs over several months, but here you have a chance to see if this is something you would like to take up and try for a month. So that is my special offer for you. Now you can go to my website, mentalstrategiesfortraders.com, to the product page. It is the 4th product down on the page. So that's that. And finally, you will also receive a bonus. It was going to be a report, but basically I just haven't had the time to turn it into a written document. So you will receive a webinar which explains the science behind the non-invasive neurostimulation I mentioned early on. I think you may find that of great interest, what we have discovered. It's the science and the research, what I've discovered, using this and how we are working with it as well. So, and by the way, if you decide to go to my website and, just put on the home page, there is a box where you can leave your email address. Just put in the comment section, Report Ninja. I promise you, I take this very, very seriously. I do not go around spamming people with emails. That is absolutely not my style. Yes, you will go on my mailing list, but you won't receive an email every day from me. I don't do that. Okay, so and here are some contact details, for questions and the like. You can contact me here. Obviously on my web page, any questions, let me know. And I'm always happy to have a chat with anybody on Skype to discuss how I can help you on your journey. Well, really to a more fulfilled trading life. I always put trading in brackets because it's all inclusive. So, okay, now let's have a look at the questions.
Hi, Mercedes. You can get to your chat window by going to the top of your window. There should be a drop-down menu.
Yes.
And they'll click on the ellipsis button, so the 3 dots to the right, and then
chat here. That's
and then there'll be
chat.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Right. Thank you so much. So right. Okay. What have we got here? Okay, let's just start from the beginning here. There's quite a few questions. I can get my mouse to function here. What have I got? Sorry about this. Right. So just going through the questions here. So. Okay, now this is about Ninja. why Ninja cannot be contacted by phone. You can contact Ninja by Skype and things, and it works very well, as I know from experience. Ninja customer service is second to none, guys. You know, I will not stand for any negative comments on Ninja. So, okay. If we came from apes, well, the basic thing is, Casey, Adams, we don't come from apes. We don't. So, right. So is there any satisfaction guarantee with the $600 course? Well, what is satisfaction? You know, it's a very generic term, and the answer is no. The course is designed to expand you. How that expansion unfolds is not something that is written in stone. You see, this idea of looking for guarantees outside of you is one of the many misperceptions. At the end of the day, the role of any coach is to elicit from you new responses and push you, if you like, through your glass ceilings. So what we are talking about here is to get you to a point where you are feeling safe and secure to assume a different personality, a different character, a character that does not do fear, that does not go and blame other people, that takes responsibility for their own actions from the deep inner knowing that they are the creator of their lives. The biggest challenge we have as individuals on the path to a mastery, if you like, is to understand that we are the creators. You can go to people who can help you. I can stand here and talk to you about universal law, how to apply it, give you all the tools until I'm blue in the face. At the end of the day, you are the one who is having to do it. I mean, it's like, you know, when you're learning to drive a car, you can go out with your instructor. At the end of the day, the instructor will not make you a good driver. That comes from you, and that is something you have to awaken in yourself. And all forms of coaching, group coaching or one-on-one coaching, are designed to help you cross that bridge. You know, but ultimately it's about you coming into your own power and taking what you learn to your own new experiences, to a new form of self-actualization for yourself. And I hope that has answered that. Right, okay, the change, yes. Now, the change is basically to do with the fact that the stars and planets in the galaxies are moving. It's a huge 25,900 year cycle. It's that repeats, and you may have heard about the Mayan calendar. This big cycle, it is only one of many, is probably the best known. We are at a convergence where we have a 500,000 year cycle converging with the 25,000 year cycle. Then, you know, there are the Bactam cycles, which are 500 year cycles, and it comes down right to the cycle I mentioned early on, which is a 12-year cycle. So all these cycles are converging. Now, what is happening in our galaxy is that we have an alignment where the planets have moved to the center of the galaxy. And the center of the galaxy is, of course, also symbolic for the center of creation. So, and in that, let's call it a vortex. That is perhaps not strictly speaking true, but it's not wrong either, but it's the best way I can think of explaining it to you. In that vortex, everything compresses, and it is precisely this compression which we are experiencing at the moment. Now, the mind has got no reference points how to deal with this. You know, we have in our history, we have not experienced anything like this. And when you look around you, you only have to go out into the average street in an average town to see how disturbed the average person is. You know, and they may not even be aware of it. You know, there is this sort of doom and gloom and uncertainty hanging about, and that is basically because people's minds are uncoupled from their connection. You know, that connection will come back. You know, it's a temporary thing. It goes in waves. You know, the magnetic field, which is thinning, and that happens not gradually all the time. It moves, and then everybody freaks out for a little while because they have got no compass points anymore. And then once they find the compass points again, you know, everything is well, sort of back in order temporarily at least. Now, this change has been, and the shift has been talked about in many, many wisdom traditions. We now know from science that what the wisdom traditions have taught for thousands of years in different forms is absolutely right. We've got the science to prove this now. And we cannot deny it. We understand what is going on. So understanding what's going on is one thing, and it's a very important thing, because that intellectual understanding will take us to the next step. And the next step is, of course, well, okay, what do we do with this information? How do we take this information into a meaningful, convert it, if you like, into a meaningful context in our lives that moves us forward instead of making us as victims of all the stuff that is going on around us. Yeah, see, and it comes back to this thing. The biggest problem humanity has, we humans have, is stepping into our own powers of creation. So, I mean, it's, and we are in this point where we are having to do this and embrace our own powers and experience with them. You know, it's a benign process. It's very important that we do this. Yeah, okay, my book, the Buddhist Trader, is on Amazon, but I would ask you to hold back a bit because I'm completely rewriting the Buddhist Trader, and it's a bit of a Herculean task. I wrote the book 7 years ago. A lot of it is more poignant today than it was before, but I have got so much more up-to-date information. I would say to you, join my mailing list. I'm going to send, obviously, everybody on my mailing list notification when the book is ready to be republished. So please don't buy it at the moment. You know, it would be, you know, a waste of your money. So, and thank you for your kind words. Well, actually, no, there is no discount on the actual course, but you are getting a month's trial on the Awaken the Inner Master Trader, and it'll be very helpful for you, for anybody who is interested, because it'll just take you so much deeper into the material. You can ask questions, so it's quite in-depth. I have day traded for many years. I don't do it anymore because personally, I've come to the point I don't like it anymore. I really don't like the way the markets are behaving at the moment, and have been behaving for a long time. My trading is much more longer term these days, and it's a decision I made last year to stop day trading because I just don't enjoy it anymore. I mean, I've traded for over 20 years. That said, you know, also I'm drawn more to currencies again, because I believe the currencies, that's another story. We won't go into that now. Is the 21-day course? Yes, I guess it is in some respects related to the book, only insofar as it goes beyond the book, because the exercises in the course are fairly new. I've had this trading psychology course for a number of years, and last year completely remodeled it in view of new experiences, and you know, I'm very, very keen on doing scientific studies and things like this. So and of course we've had so much new scientific input into how the brain works, into how we create brain coherence effectively and relatively quickly. So you know, that's of course altered the improve your trading mind course quite considerably, actually. So so the two are related, and they are certainly complementary. Let's put it like that.
Okay, Mercedes, we're going to actually have to call it shortly, so I may put an end to your questions. So I wrap up. Go ahead and share any contact information, and we'll go from there.
So, well, actually, contact information here. Do you want me to just type it in? If you want to contact me, here is my email address. So you can contact me there. And I also just want to quickly say, you know, thank you very much, Tiffany and Daniela, who've made all this possible. I'm, you know, very grateful for it. Thank you so much for all your support, and thank you for everybody showing an interest in my work.
Okay, I'd like to give a special thank you to Mercedes of Mental Strategies for Traders for a great presentation. Everyone in attendance here today will receive an on-demand recording of today's event, so just keep an eye open for that email. NinjaTrader ecosystem is pleased to sponsor these weekly vendor events as a value-added service for our clients. If you find value in these events, we hope that you will attend them on a regular basis. You can view all upcoming and past webinars at the link provided. We'd also like to remind you the information provided in this was that of Mental Strategies for Traders and not of NinjaTrader. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Again, we appreciate the time you spent with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from all of us at NinjaTrader Ecosystem. And again, thank you so much, Mercedes.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day.